Thank you so much for joining me, Ben. Welcome along to our campaign around the CEO self-care. So why don't you start off by telling us who you are and what you do?
Amazing. Thanks so much, Jen. Lovely to be here. My name is Ben Broughton. I'm founder CEO of Primis. So my background, 24 years in recruitment, hence all the grey hairs I've got going on here. Started my career with S3, so was there for 6 years, incredible training, learned so much in that business back in 2000. Then went on to be MD for Premier Group for 15 years, grew that business. And then, as we discussed about 13 months ago, launched Primis across the UK and the US. We're a technology recruitment firm. So we've got 4 offices, London, Birmingham, and then in the States, we're in Austin and New York. Love recruitment. Who would ever say that? But love my job. Feel very privileged to be in an industry that I love and I'm very passionate about as well.
Brilliant. Well, I love recruitment too. We must be slightly crazy.
We must be mad.
That's okay.
Absolutely.
So what drove you to set up on your own then? 13 months in, what drove you to set up in the first place?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, for me, it was a challenge an opportunity to really create something that was my own. And, I've learned so many lessons over the last kind of 24, 25 years in recruitment. And I think the key for me was, if I look at any good recruitment business, the most important thing is the people you employ. The companies that do well, the companies that grow and scale, they retain good people. That's the way to do it, to retain good people. So when we launched Primis, it's very much, building a DNA of a business that will last for the next 10, 15 years in kind of today's market. And that's just putting people first. Every single decision we take as an organization, we look at the people that we have. How can we make sure it's good for their careers, good training, a good culture in the organization, and just investing in these guys? Because if you invest in your people and they feel, part of something, then you'll retain them. And that for me is how you go about growing a recruitment business.
Cool, so cool. So I can't believe offices in the UK and the US 13 months in. So what do you think? Because for any business, I think it's about having a USP. What is your USP?
Yeah, absolutely. So I think, looking at USPs, I think internally first, for people that work for us, it's about their well-being, making sure that people have got good career paths, they've got good training, they've got obviously the opportunity to make good money, which I think is one of the main reasons that people join recruitment. And just investing in them, I think, is the most important thing. Externally to our clients and also internally for a very large part, diversity and inclusion was one of the kind of big things that we hang our hat on as an organization. When I was building Primis, it was, what does the market need right now? What are people not offering? And I think one of the things that we do when we partner with companies now, we offer training across all their kind of senior management team around how to hire with an unconscious bias, how to make sure that, when people are going through the recruitment process, it's really approaching it in the right way to make sure you have a diverse funnel coming into that process so that, coming out the end of it, when you're hiring people, you're hiring a diverse workforce. So we do loads of different things internally in terms of training our consultants, in terms of the routes and methods that we go through to find good people for our clients. And most important, I think, it's that education piece, just being, educators in the market and really driving this forward as an organization. And the response has been, it's been phenomenal. We've had so many of our clients, and even clients that, sometimes you don't expect that they will put as a priority. When you go and talk to them, they really do take it seriously, and they're really interested to learn more and to engage with our trainers. We have a number of trainers that we have on retain that we go and embed into our clients, and the feedback's just been phenomenal. Because it's such an important thing in the market right now. Everybody's looking at it. From our clients in the US who have heads of D&I sitting on the board of their organization, because that's the importance they see in it. And it's really, really been such a positive thing to see. 13 months into this business, it's just taken off incredibly well.
That's absolutely brilliant. And you'll be helping businesses address what they've been trying to address for some time, I imagine, but not really knowing where to start or how to start.
Absolutely,
how to tackle it.
Yeah. And when people say we want a diverse business, it starts with recruitment. You can't just suddenly magic up a diverse team. It starts with your recruitment process. It's how you're going out to market, your job adverts, the current culture of your organization, how you approach recruitment. That's how you make a difference and make a change. So I think, we're really kind of trying to hold a flag in the air and say we want to make a real difference in the industry here.
You definitely are. It's brilliant. It's really brilliant. You talk with such passion. It's absolutely amazing. It's very addictive. How do you manage, though, to keep all the plates spinning, you know, because you've got all these offices, all these people, you're doing all these brilliant things. How do you keep all the plates spinning? What strategies do you use?
I have an amazing team. First of
Yeah.
all, my management team at Primis is brilliant. We've got over 115 years recruitment experience within the management team. So definitely surrounding yourself by good people. You know, I couldn't do what I do without those guys, and the senior team as well. They're absolutely fantastic. I'm very militant with my time, I think is the best way. You know, my diary is like a color-coded, you know, kind of Tekker's board, Rubik's Cube, I think. And I think, you know, for me, it's about really segmenting your time. And that's from a work perspective, but also, you know, in personal life as well. I think you've got to be really, really strict with yourself. So for me, I spend a good 2 hours on a Sunday evening, kind of when the kids are in bed, just really kind of planning out and mapping my week and prioritizing where my time is best spent, and then sticking to that and really being, you know, quite structured with it, I think is really, really important. Because it's so easy, as we both know in recruitment, you know, you can be like a headless chicken, you know, running around doing different things all the time. So for me, that kind of time planning and being really strict with it is super important. And also just giving yourself downtime. You know, I've, you know, again, learned throughout my career in previous roles, you know, I've been 100 miles an hour, 7 days a week, not taking time out. And you can only do that for so long before, you know, you will burn out, whether it be physically or mentally. And I think, you know, just having time out for yourself to go and spend time with your family, your friends, or just, you know, buy yourself a good book, you know, it's so super important that people do that.
Brilliant. And I mean, I'm always talking about well-being, as I'm sure you know. And, you know, I think it's important about our own well-being, but also the people around us. Primis seems very visible in this space about how you look after your teams. What sort of well-being initiatives do you run internally?
Absolutely. So yeah, for us, well-being absolutely, you know, key. And as I said, you know, if you want to retain good people, you've got to look after their well-being. You've got to put it as a priority in their business. So, you know, we do all the kind of, I say usual stuff, but, you know, everyone has private healthcare from day one. You know, touch wood, God forbid, if anything were to ever happen to anybody, I want to make sure they've got the best care possible in the industry. We do £75 a month into their paycheck for them to spend on their well-being. You know, so everybody's different. You know, some people want to hire a Peloton. Some people want to spend it on, you know, National Trust membership. Some people might spend it on a bottle of vodka. You know, whatever's important to your well-being, that's there for them to go and I don't recommend the vodka, sorry, but that's there for them to go and invest in them and put it into them. And the guys use it for all different stuff, which is really nice. Flexible working, you know, I think is crucial these days. You know, I do school pickup and drop off twice a week, and I think for me to be able to have that flexibility to work from home on those days is invaluable, you know, and I think that, you know, people have got to see this and they've got to react to those kind of things. But on top of all that, we do a 2-week sabbatical as well. So after you've been in the business for 2 years, you can have 2-week fully paid sabbatical to go away and travel or just have some downtime, whatever. You know, I think it's really important we talk about that kind of burnout, just to make sure people have got that time to do that. But I think putting all that to one side, I think for us, the D&I piece, and we've created an internal allyship program. So this is basically within the business, everybody looks after a certain kind of strand within the allyship. So that's everything from gender diversity, LGBTQ+, equality, and each person has ownership of these different strands. And once a month, we get together as a business, and it's a really like safe space where people come in and they present. So last week we did one on Pride and Pride and you know, all the things around it and the history of Pride and what it meant. And people talk about their own experiences and their own journey going through these different learnings. And it just creates such a safe space where people talk about their own journeys, talk about their experiences and open up with their colleagues. And I think that just brings everyone so much closer together as a business, which makes us a really kind of, you know, close business because people can feel like they can talk about their own personal experiences. And it just works. It works so well. It's been a really positive thing for us as a business.
Lovely. I think that gives a real community feel to it as well.
Totally,
yeah. People feel totally comfortable.
Absolutely.
So Ben, thank you. Finally,
no worries.
How do you look after your own self-care? Because I think it's always nice to maybe share some handy hints and tips to other people running businesses.
Absolutely. Can we get back to that vodka bottle? Yeah, for me, it's making sure I segregate my time. You know, as I said, I do the school pickup kind of twice a week, and if I'm picking the kids up at 3, my phone goes away, my laptop goes away, and I really kind of value that time that I have, and I'm very present. And I think that's something that I never used to be. And I've definitely learned my lesson from that, because I'm not going to get those years back with my kids. So just being able to really switch off for me is crucial. I'm very good. Friday, we finish at 3:30 on a Friday as a business. And I think 3:30 comes, switch off, enjoy your weekend, have that downtime, be present for the time outside of work. Because, you obviously, we're building a business here and I'm super proud of it, but you're never going to get that time back to yourself. And it's also, you've got to recharge that mental battery and make sure that, you're investing time into yourself as a person and an individual. And I think, you've got to be so super militant about that, because we both know, Jen, in recruitment, you could always do more. There's always this kind of, I could just send out some more emails to clients, or, speak to clients. There's always going to be more. So you've got to draw a line under it. You've got to be really super strict with yourself. And that's something that, does definitely take practice. But I feel I've got there now, and I think I'm in a really good place with it. And just be present, I think is the most important thing. Whatever you're doing, be present for that.
Yeah, I love that. Being present is kind of, it's so simple, isn't it? But actually, how many times are we actually present even when we're not working properly? Yeah. Fantastic. Thank you so much. That's been absolutely brilliant. I'm looking forward to sharing it. Thank you again, and good luck with the next. Gosh, I'm looking forward to seeing what happens with the journey.
Thank you so much, Jenny. Lovely to see you. Have a brilliant day.
Thank you. You too.
Bye.